Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. Now, I said I probably wouldn't do decorations, but I've actually decided to do decorations in a different way. So, the issue is, I'm going to be ranking all the decorations, but I'm not going to be doing them individually, because A, that would take too long, and B, I think it's sometimes very difficult to compare one decoration to another. For example, if we get a fence is very good for, decorating a house or decorating a building, but, that fence itself might not be anything special, if you get what I mean. And then, say, compare that to, the dam. I don't know if the dam is a building or a decoration. I think it's a decoration. But let's just say the dam is a decoration for the sake of this argument. The dam is, awesome. It's massive. It's cool. So when I really put the dam above a fence, it's kind of difficult to do because the fence has utility, whereas the dam is just one thing that looks really cool. So instead, what I've decided to do is essentially combine all the decorations of every single event. So that includes minor events, mini events, and major events. And then I've basically got the average score. I've rated every single decoration out of 5. And then I've gathered the average score for that event. And that's how I'm ranking the decorations, basically. So they're going to be ranked per event with an average score. I think that way it makes it fair, because otherwise all the mini events and minor events are going to be right at the bottom and the major events are going to be on top. So this way it balances it out a little bit. I honestly didn't get the results I wanted to get. I think personally I prefer the decorations from either Holiday Whodunit or the Rise of Robots, but you'll see the results of the decoration thing. It's really weird, but it's just the average score, because if there's a decoration I don't like from one of those events, I'll rate it down, and then that kind of brings the whole score down. So that's how it kind of works. So anyway, let's get into it with the first of the decorations, and I think the decorations of the worst update come from the Key to the City promo. So this one's a doozy because they only added one decoration. They only added one thing in this promo, and that was the Key to the City. And if I'm going to give it a score out of 5, I have to give it a 0 out of 5, because the decoration is not, you're not able to place it for a lot of people couldn't get it. The promo didn't even show up, and a lot of people who did manage to see it and buy it didn't even get the Key to the City promo. I think they might have got it eventually, the Key to the City. For me personally, it never even showed up. The promo didn't even pop up at all, which basically meant I didn't even have a chance to get this. And on top of that, this decoration pretty much just increases your conformer meter, the little rating you've got in your bottom left of your town. And I personally just don't care about this rating. I think it's always been very meaningless. It doesn't really help you in any way, to be honest. It's just a star rating. If you want a 5-star town, you got to do certain things. So, yeah, I don't really care for this decoration. It doesn't bring any benefit. Plus, it's super premium. Plus, it didn't even get added for some people. So, I think 0 out of 5 is a fair score, which, of course, makes the average score for this Key to the City promo event to be 0 out of 5. So, unfortunately, Key to the City promo is the worst decoration bundle of the year, even though it's just one. Springfield Enlightened is the second worst, very surprisingly, with an average score of 1.9. Now, this is kind of interesting. I actually kind of agree with this placement. I do think the decorations here aren't that great. Now, there definitely are some good ones. I really like the body tree. Body tree? I think that's how you say it. Body tree. I really do love that one because it is just this large, giant tree. And I'm like a sucker for trees. So this one, for me, was 5 out of 5. But there was a few that definitely kind of let me down. The sensory deprivation tank, I don't like in any way, shape, or form. So it's just weird to me. So I gave that a 0. The party elephant, I didn't really care that much for, because we've already got elephants, in our zoo and stuff. So I didn't care too much about that. The Food Temple dog, going back now, but the Food Temple dog, I gave a 1 out of 10 because it's just insignificant. It's not something that really benefits me. And even with the sort of including the Food Temple dogs in the design for the palaces, they're just a bit small as all. I don't really care for them that much. The Golden Buddha I do like quite a bit. I gave it a 3 out of 5, if that's fair. Of course, it also has the animation with Homer that you unlock later on. You have the Wet Sari contest. I kind of like this one. I kind of hate it. I give it a 2. I think that's fair for it. I think it's kind of funny, at least. Sid Martha's Ponies. Yeah, I just don't care for. We've got ponies and stuff before and barns and we've got horses before, so it's nothing new to me. So I don't care too much for it. So I give it a 1. The salt mandala is like so tiny, it's barely visible. So I give that a 1 out of 10. I think there is an animation with it, right? But I don't really care. And then the Enlightened Fountain, I do kind of like that one, so I gave it a 4 out of 5. I think that's a pretty cool decoration. But obviously overall it only gets a 1.9, which makes it the second to worst, which is kind of sad. There definitely is some cool decorations in here, but I think a lot of the bad ones do drag it down. Black Friday is surprisingly above the Springfield Enlightened, even though it's only got 1 decoration. Now, of course, this is Ian's car. I think Ian's car's cool enough. It looks fine, and of course it does come with that animation with Ian. However, it's nothing too special for me to give it any higher than 2. So I think 2 is a fair score for it. And on top of that, of course, it is super premium. I think if it weren't super premium, I might give it a 3 or a 4 potentially. But super premium, I think, drags it down as well. So I'm going to go with 2. It has a cool animation with Ian. 2 cool animations with Ian, of course. So that, I think, at least gives it a 2. And it looks okay. It looks fine. It doesn't look bad, at least. It's bright. So that kind of gives it a score of 2. But like I said, super premium, and the fact that it's anything like amazing or too special, I think that kind of caps it at 2 points. So it somehow gets above Springfield Enlightened, but not any further. So that's Ian's car, aka the decorations from Black Friday. Springfield Choppers is next. Now both Black Friday and Springfield Choppers got an average score of 2, so obviously I had to break the tie, and I'm obviously, in this case, I figured quantity over quality probably suffices. I probably would say that these decorations as a collective are better than just Ian's car. So we've got 3 decorations. The graveyard for the bicycles, I really hate this decoration. I just think it looks ugly, and there's not much you can really do with it. Now, if they added the pool and the bicycles separately, I think that would give a bit more, versatility. Versatility, is that word? Versatility? You'd be able to decorate it, more to your liking. But I think the way it is and the way it kind of sticks out, it just doesn't look very good to me. Not enough to give it 0 points, but not enough to give it more than 1. The Death Ball, I think I'm being nice to the Death Ball and giving it a 3 out of 5. I like it because it's from the film, and I do think it looks cool, and it has the okay animation when you tap it and the bike zooms around on its own. I just really wish they included this with an animation for Homer. I think it's a massive missed opportunity. They didn't add an animation for Homer, considering that's like one of the more iconic scenes in the film. And then finally you have Homer's motorcycle. I gave this a 2 out of 5. It comes with a cool animation for Homer. Well, a fine enough animation. It's nothing too special, but the bike itself isn't anything crazy, and we've got bikes and stuff before, so I'd be lying to myself to give it like 3 or 4. I think 2 is a fair score, meaning the average score is 2, but I'm going to put it above, obviously, the Black Friday update. New Year, New You. Ooh, this one I was very surprised when I kind of sorted and ranked all the scores out, because this one actually ranks quite low. So far, I think they've been quite consistent. You got Key to the City promo. I said that's the worst minor event. You got the Springfield Enlightened, I said that was the worst major event. You got Black Friday, I said, I wasn't too keen on Black Friday as a whole, like I never am. And then you've got Springfield Choppers, which I said was the worst mini event. So it's been very consistent so far, I think, in terms of the placements of the decorations. However, this one, I think it's a bit of an outlier, because I'm not too keen on either of the decorations. Now, you have the vending machine. I think this one's okay. I gave it a 2.5. I couldn't give it a 3. I feel like 3 was too nice. And I couldn't give it a 2 because I felt that was too mean. So I went with 2.5. If you want to give it a 3, I can understand. That's cool, whatever. But I'm giving it 2.5. And then the chariot, for me, it's kind of like it's like a good example of a crowd I prefer. But I'm a little put off by it because it doesn't have an animation. If it had an animation, I would be a little, like with, what's his name, Spagler, whatever his name is. If it had an animation, I might give it a 3, but even if it did, I don't think I'd give it much more than a 3. I think 3 at the very least. It's just nothing that interesting to me, anyway. But yeah, I do like this update, don't get me wrong. I just think the decorations aren't the best. So, average score, 2.5. I think it's fair enough. There you have it. New Year, New You. Tavern Trouble. literally just a beer fountain. Again, I felt like 2 was too nice to it. 2 was too mean, and I thought 3 was too nice, so I went with 2.5. And of course, there's only one decoration, so the average score is 2.5. Yeah, it's above New Year, New You, but that's how the scores worked out. I mean, personally, no, do you know what? No, I'm sticking with it. It's cool. It's fine. Yeah, 1 decoration over 2. Why not? I mean, like, Ian's car was above, like, the entirety of Springfield and Lighton, so I think it's fair enough. I like this decoration. I think it's okay. I don't think it's anything crazy. I think it's just a fine decoration. I do really wish it was bigger. If it was more sort of large and a bit more, and it felt a bit more like a grand prize, because obviously this was the final prize, I think I would probably give it a higher score. If it was, like, much bigger, I mean, I probably would give it like a 4, but it is a bit small for my liking, so 2.5 is where I'm going for it, and I think that's fair. Foodie Fight is next, and I feel like I'm going to have a massive disagreement now with this one. Now, Foodie Fight actually also got 2.5, but I think overall I'm putting it above Tavern Trouble. I'm breaking the tie there, basically. Now, Foodie Fight added 2 decorations. You have the flying pigs thing, which I honestly don't care for, so I just gave it a 1. I think that's fair enough. But the, what's it called? I forget what it's called, but that big meat grinder thing, I actually love that decoration. I know people say it's gross, it's disgusting, they say it's ugly. Yeah, it is all those things. It's gross, it's disgusting, it's ugly. Oh no, it is. Don't get me wrong. But I kind of love it. My morbidness kind of loves it. And it's not often that we get like really gruesome things in Tapped Out. So yeah, I like this decoration a lot. I might be in the minority here in liking this decoration, but I was willing to give it a 4 out of 5, which obviously made the average score really high, because the other thing was 1. Well, I said really high, but it made it higher. The other thing was only 1, and it obviously came to a 2.5. So, yeah, let's go with it. I said Foodie Fight was like... Actually, where did I put Foodie Fight as worst update? Did I put it second worst? I think I put it as second worst. But, do you know what? There you go. I'm putting it there. There you have it. Holiday Whodunit. That's right. Didn't make it very far, which I was very surprised by. Now, I'm going to have to go through all of this, because I feel like this will be the one that gets the most flack. So, let's start off with the bad stuff. So you have Mr. Plow's Plow. I have to give that a 0. It doesn't have any animation. It doesn't have any quest line. And it was super premium. It has to get a 0. The gnome automation people, for me, they're a crowd. I don't like them that much. They're a 1 for me. And then we'll go to some of the kind of bad. The billboards, I kind of do like the fact that they were added as a bundle. But I think as as individuals, they're like a 2 out of 5 at best. I think the animations on them is kind of cool. And then we obviously have the flake thingy, the flake blaster, whatever it's called. That's a 2.5. That's a 2 out of 5 for me. Don't care too much for it. The elf ears thing, again, I don't care too much for it. So it's 2 out of 5 for me, and I think that's being fair. And then the Christmas beaver dam, again, I mean, it's very similar to things we've had in the past, and I don't care too much for it. So it's 2 out of 5. Now, we have the sleighs and the snowmobile. So the snowmobile, I think it's a 3 out of 5, because although, yeah, it has an animation for Homer, I don't think it's that interesting, the animation. I think it's cool that they added it, don't get me wrong, but I think over the other animations, it's not as interesting. And the actual thing itself isn't that anything crazy, I guess. Yeah. But I really love the Krusty one, and I really love the Rich Texan one, so I gave them 5 out of 5s. But then I didn't really care that much for the White Witch Burns and the Sideshow Mel one, so I kind of gave them a little less. So 4 out of 5 for the Mr. Burns one, and 3 out of 5 for the Mel one, only because I really don't like the fact that these like reindeer ladies are there. It's kind of like a crowd for me, and I take a strong stance against crowds. Now, if the sleigh itself... But there again, if it was just the sleigh itself without the reindeer women, I guess I probably would feel the same way. And it's difficult. Like, I'm trying to weigh out its. I don't want to use the word utility. That's not true. I guess utility. Weigh out its utility as a decoration and how it serves. And then on top of that, I've got to include the animations that are included. So For me, I just had to give it a 3. Maybe I'm a bit harsh on that particular one, but I think I've been fair on all the others' decorations. Which, weird, because I thought Holiday Whodunit would have been quite high, but I guess the other kind of badder decorations have like really weighed this one down, which is unfortunate. I do think it has a good selection of decorations nonetheless, but if I'm gonna like actually nitpick and score each one, unfortunately, it goes here as the second worst major event in terms of decorations, which is very surprising actually. But there you have it, Holiday Whodunit. And with only just a tiny extra point, obviously that Holiday Whodunit had 2.53, this one has 2.54, and this is of course the Treehouse of Horror update, aka the dinosaur update. Now, this one was tricky, and I feel like it could just be a massive toss-up between Holiday Whodunit and this one in terms of decorations, because it really just comes down to like your subjective opinion. Now, I really, really like a lot of the vehicles in this one. I like the geriatric park truck. Maybe it's because I'm a fan of classic Jurassic Park. Maybe that's part of it, sure. But I like that truck a lot, so I gave that one a 4 out of 5. I quite like the helicopter as well. Again, probably just my bias, so I give that one a 4 out of 5. Yeah, might be a bit nice. The gates, I give a 3 out of 5 because the gates on their own, I think, are good. However, the wall that was added to the store, which is on the bottom left there, or bottom right, sorry, the bottom right there, the wall, I give a 1 out of 5 because it was premium, and I disagree with the wall being premium, like, hands down. Then you have a few of the other outliers. So the little Bionaut ship and the Bionaut laser thing, I quite like them on their own as decorations. So I gave them both 3. Maybe I'm being too nice there. Who knows? But I quite like them. Then you have the Chalmers truck, the Rigelian one. I give that one a 2. Don't care too much for it. And the monster truck, I don't care too for either. The pod thingy, I kind of like, so I give it a 3 out of 5. And then the body bag truck, I give it 2 out of 5. I didn't like it too much. And, oh, finally, the Bart spider thingy, I gave that a 1 because I don't like it whatsoever. So yeah, maybe I was a bit nice. Maybe it's just because of my biasy. Maybe because I say that. It's all subjective anyway. I really like the build. I really like some of the trucks and the helicopter. I really like them. So yeah, I've kind of given them higher points. So anyway, there you have it. Treehouse of Horror somehow beat Holiday Whodunit, but there you go. Love and War. This somehow got an average score of 2.85. I say somehow, but I know why, okay? I think this decoration... No, so it's this update. So this update is not got many decorations because obviously it has a token filling out a lot of the prizes. And I think it has... Actually, I don't think it has tokens. I think it just has animations, right? There's like a bunch of animations. It might have tokens. I don't remember exactly. But this it has limited decorations. Like, compared this to Whodunit, Holiday Whodunit, and the Treehouse of Horror, there is less decorations. But I think a lot of these decorations are pretty high quality. So the Love Tester, I have to give a 5 out of 5. I think the Love Tester is my favourite decoration of the year, if I had to kind of give one. Because A, it's something quite iconic from the show, something that appears quite regularly. And on top of that, they could have just added it as like a regular decoration and did nothing with it. But when you actually tap it, it actually gives you like a Love Tester result, which I think is very cool. So I have to give that one a 5 out of 5. I personally love that decoration so much. The billboard, like with the other billboards, I think it looks fine, so I'm going to give it a 2. Unless I really hate the billboard, I might give it a 1, but normally I think billboards are just like a 2. The Artie Ziff thing I don't care for, so I'm giving it a 1 out of 5. The Harpooned Hill, I think this one's okay. I quite like the look of this one, to be honest, so I'll give it a 3 out of 5. The Tunnel Cave of Love, whatever it's called, this one I do think should have been a building, because I think there's a good argument, but obviously we already have a Tunnel of Love in the game, so that's probably why they didn't add it as a building. But I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. I think that one's fair, because it's okay as a decoration. Like, it should be a building, but I think it looks okay still. Like, I would give it a 4 if it were like a building, probably, is what I'm trying to say. But because it's actually a decoration, and it should be a building, I'm giving it a 3 instead of a 4. And then the ship, I really like the cruise ship. I think it looks really nice, actually, so I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. And then the Money Pile to Burn, I used to hate this one, but I think it's okay. I'm giving it a 2 out of 5. Again, same level as the billboard. So yeah, the average score for this update went up to 2.85, which brings it like way above all the other things. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that the update for Love and War was good. The issue is when you're taking the whole update if you're taking the update as a whole, then Love and War goes much lower, because Love and War had like animations, fill out prizes, they had like really bad. Actually, the structure wasn't too bad, but they had like, the storyline, the characters, the buildings. All these things need to be taken into account. But I think decorations wise, Love and War was pretty damn strong. So yeah, I think it's fair for it to be this position. Rise of Robots with an average score of 2.91. So this one was a bit surprising as well. I think there's a few things that kind of weighed it down a little bit, but a lot of the things I think were not quite close to 5s. So the Chocobots I gave a 3 out of 10. 3 out of 5. I think they're okay, but they are a crowd. But I still do like them. The trophy, I don't care too much for. Not enough to give it a 1. I felt 1 was too harsh, but I think a 2 out of 5 is fair. The award bot I quite like, so I give it a 4 out of 5. The Smashiest Clay, 5 out of 5 for me. It's an amazing decoration. The 2 little bots for the Flanders and the Homer Posei bots, I think both of them are 4 out of 5. I like that you can transport them into the cars. The ATM bot, I gave a 2 out of 5. It's the one that I don't like, as well as the hot dog bot. I don't like either of them. I think they're a bit crappy, but I kind of like the squishy bot, so I give that one a 3. I know that they're all very similar, but I'm going to give the squishy one a 3 out of 5 and the others a 2 out of 5. Killy the Tractor, I think he was a Gills deal, right? He was a bit overpriced, so 3 out of 5. And then the Human Foosball Table, for me, I hate it. It's a 1, which gives an average score of 2.91, which honestly seems wrong. Oh, the cola bottle as well, that was 2. 2.91 seems wrong to me. Actually, no. 1, 2. There is actually quite a lot. There's like 2s, and there's a fair few amount of 3s as well. There's 2 3s. Actually, no, that probably is right. Yeah. There you have it. It's what it is what it is. I think a few things do weigh it down. Obviously, you're not going to have many updates that are going to hit like that 5 out of 5 or 4 out of 5. It's close to 3. I think this is a fair placement for it. I do really enjoy most of these decorations, and I think a lot of them are very, very cool. So Rise of Robots definitely did have a strong run for decorations for sure. So let's get to the next one. Into the Simpsons verse. Oh, with an average score of 3.12. So just a little bit above Rise of Robots. So you have the alternative computer thingy. I don't care too much for this one, but I understand it was necessary to add, so I think a 2 is fair. The Paddy Wagon, I gave a 2 out of 5 as well. I think its placement was a bit odd because they tried to force it into the whole noir segment. So I'm going to give that one a 2 out of 5, and plus I don't really care for it too much. The Pumpkin Carriage, this might be controversial. I actually adore this decoration so much. It's a 5 out of 5. The Land of Fruit and Vegetable, although I think there could be an argument to be made it should be a building, I actually do really like the look of it, so I'll give it a 4 out of 5. The little I don't know what it's called, but that thing that's next to the Land of Fruit and Vegetables, we've had similar sort of Japanese style things before, so for me I don't care too much for it. It's quite small as well and a bit insignificant, so it's a 2 out of 5 for me. The battle thingy doodah built thing looks pretty cool, so 3 out of 5. The Ooters Candyland is kind of cool, so 3 out of 5. And then the portal thingy is actually not a bad sort of final. I know it wasn't the final decoration, but the second to last decoration. So I give that one a. Actually, I think it might have been the final actual decoration, but it wasn't the final prize, is what I meant. I think it looks kind of cool though, and I think it is kind of yeah, I like the look of it. So 4 out of 5 for that one. Maybe I'm being too nice to that one. Who knows? But there you have it. Into the Simpsons verse actually ranks fairly highly, and this concludes the major events. Decorations wise, Into the Simpsons verse was apparently the best according to my scoring system. So there you have it. Well done, Into the Simpsons verse. You won the best decorations out of a major event, but there are still mini events, minors events. There's still events to come. So let's get on to number 2. 2 left, and number 2 is Breakout Bouncy? What? This is, unfortunately, my opinion, and for that reason, this event, I think, has been elevated quite highly above the other events, and that might be part of the issue here with this scoring system. I think this is an issue with the scoring system because to take the average kind of means that I have to put like some events that have pretty poor quantity over like, you know, a sort of selection of bad and some kind of meh and some kind of amazing decorations. So for Breakout Bounty, I absolutely love the police boat. All right, I think it's one of the best decorations of the year for sure because A, it looks awesome. B, it's about time we've had a police boat. C, you can place it on the rivers and the oceans. And D, it has the nice little sirens when you tap it. And, you know, this might be, like, a bit too... You might think, oh, well, you're rating this too high. It doesn't have, like, an animation with Wiggum, or it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that. But I think it's fine for what it is. It's simple. It looks great on its own. You can place it on rivers or on the ocean. You can, you know, so there's plenty of stuff to do with it. You can buy as many as you want once you've unlocked one, which is cool as well. I like it. I really love the police boat. I think it's about time we've had one as well. So yeah, I don't really care. 5 out of 5 for me. It's I can't think of anything that would make this decoration better. Is basically what I'm trying to say. Apart from like an animation, but I don't know if it needs an animation at the same time. So for me, it's going at 5 out of 5. The people catcher though, I just don't care for that much. Did I give it a 2? I can't see the image preview is fallen off my screen. But I gave it a 2 out of 5, which I think is a fair score. I don't hate it so much to give it a 1, but a 2 is fair enough. Which obviously means the average score is 3.5, just because of the high score of the police boat, which actually rates this event way above all the major events. But that's how the scoring systems went. I'm going to stick with it. I'm not going to change it. Let's go with it. Second best decorations goes to Breakout Bounty. However, there must be a first event, and that first event, can we have that drum roll, please? Northward Bound with the best decorations. This one was tricky, and I can see some people heavily disagreeing with this. Now, basically, Northward Bound is like 2 events in one, kind of. Well, it's actually like 3 events in one. You got Black Friday, which I separate. You've got the actual sort of prize track, and then you've got the expansion update. Now, I decided to include... I'm separating Black Friday out, but I'm deciding to include all the expansion and the actual mini update, the prize track from the mini update. I'm deciding to sort of combine them all. I think that's the only fair way. To me, that seems fair, because we're still doing average scores as well anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's going up against major events. And the issue with this is I'm like, okay, what do I actually include as a decoration? So I'm not including like the bridge and the waterfall. Those, you can't control them. Like, they're just in the game, so you can't move them, you can't control them, so I'm not counting them. And for some weird reason, I think the monorail bridge counts as a building. I wasn't sure whether to put that on the list as well. But I think if I were to put it on the list, it would just increase the score anyway. And the tunnels, I think, are also counted as buildings. It's really weird. So this, I'm kind of going by the wiki's criteria here, because those are included as buildings. Although I don't think they really should be included as buildings. I think they are more decorations. But maybe that's just how Tapped Out has classified them. So whatever, fair enough. So I've not included the bridge and the tunnels, but here you have the other stuff. So you first have the donut veins. Now, there are 3 different types of donut veins, and I felt weird giving them all different scores because they essentially are the same thing. So I think 4 out of 5 for all of them is fair. Now, I think as decorations, they are kind of ugly. Don't get me wrong, but they give you donuts. And no matter how ugly the decoration is, if it gives you donuts, I feel like giving it any less than a 4 is mean. So the reason why I give it a 4 and not a 5 is because it is a bit ugly. But, I mean, it gives you donuts, so I can't, like, not give it any lower. The trees, I actually love the trees so much. I can't tell you how much I love these trees. Now, there actually are a few more types, but I couldn't be arsed adding them all. They'd all get a 5 out of 5, though. They're all great. So, yeah, those trees are great. There's also 2 types of buffalo, but again, I couldn't be arsed adding them all. So, yeah, 3 out of 5. I'm giving the buffaloes 3 out of 5. I think they are cool enough, but they're nothing crazy for me. The New Frontier wagon, for me, I don't care too much for. It's getting a 1 out of 5. We've got similar stuff in the Wild West update before. And then the New Frontier campsite. I actually really like this one. I'll give it a 4 out of 5, but arguably could be a building. It is a camp, so maybe not. I think 4 out of 5. Even if I gave it a 5 out of 5, it wouldn't matter. This event would still be the winner. But yeah, for a 4 out of 5. Meaning the average score is 3.75. Meaning this event is the best in terms of decorations. Now, again, I know it was very tricky because if I included just one donut vein, then it might have been a little lower. Actually, maybe I should work that score out. See what it is if I just include one donut vein and one tree. Give me 2 seconds. So I worked it out. If I just include one donut vein, one tree, one buffalo, one, and then the other sort of non-unique things, it comes to an average score of 3.4. So even doing that would put Breakout Bounty above this event, and I feel like no one's going to be too happy with that. So I think we can stick with this. How I've done it here with the different trees. Yeah, I love Northward Bound as an update. Northward Bound is definitely an amazing update, both as more as an expansion update than it is as an actual mini update. I think it definitely kind of is very good in terms of that. I'm not too fussed on the prize track. I think it's okay. I don't hate it as much as I once did, but I don't think it's anything too amazing. But yeah. Trying to think what else I can really say. It's just the best. I mean, it's the best mini update. I ranked it as the best mini update, so I think it's not surprising that it's ranking as the best decoration-wise update as well. Very surprising list, actually. So let's debrief. Yeah, so overall, I'm pretty happy enough with this sort of list. I think there have been some surprising things. It started off quite fair. You have the Key to the City, then you have the Springfield Enlightened, then you have Black Friday, then you have the Springfield Choppers, all events that I haven't been very favourable for. And then it hits like New Year, New You, which I quite enjoy, and then Tavern Trouble, which I also quite enjoy. It's really odd. And then Foodie Fight is above that. I know that I personally broke that tie, but still, it's weird how it kind of works out that way. Yeah, very odd that Into the Simpsons verse was the best decoration-wise in terms of major events. Best in terms of mini events was Breakout Bounty, although I realised why that happened. It's because I liked one decoration really a lot. It's not even like I liked both of them really hard. I gave the other one a 2 out of 5. It's just like I like that boat too much, I think, and I can't stop myself from liking it. So, yeah, I don't know. It worked out okay, though. I actually think this was an interesting way of ranking the decorations. I might do this again next year. Someone suggested it, and I kind of came up with this idea, and I figured, we'll give that a try, because that way it'll be a lot easier to rank all the decorations. Yeah, I think I'll try it again. I don't think I'll implement this into the awards, because I think the issue with trying to implement this into the awards and doing it as a collective of decorations from each update is what will end up happening is people will just vote for the major events or the one that adds the most decorations. I feel like that's what will end up happening, and yeah, I think it's gonna be too tricky to do that for decorations. But yeah, this update was pretty cool. So this video was pretty cool to do. So yeah, tell me your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. I'm beginning to break down after recording for half an hour. So goodbye.